but it was good eating, man. That big old cat's head biscuit, you know, and ham gravy, you know, red-eye gravy, and I mean, it was good stuff, man. Fresh deer meat, it wasn't bad at all. Anyway, one time they said to me, there's an old saint up here dying, been a dying about a year, and said, I'd like to have to come by and pray with her. I said, okay. I was just a young preacher, been saved about 3 years. We went way back in the boonies of someplace way back in there, and came to this house, and the people around there, this woman been in bed, I guess, about 2 years, and she had a cancer on her face. I didn't ever see it. They said it's about the size of $1 now. And see, no doctors go back in there, you know, and no trip to the hospital, not much medicine. You could smell the rotten stuff when you came to the house. And they said, go ahead and brother meet her. She'll be glad to see you and have a word of prayer with her. She's ain't talking much, but she's conscious to talk a little. So open the door. The Lord said, get on your knees. I got on my knees. And I crawled up to that bed. And I had my face to the floor like this, and about 3 times the Lord said, don't look up. Don't look up. And I didn't look up. I don't know what I'd have seen if I looked up. But I'm telling you, there was a presence in that room, boy, you wouldn't believe. And I don't know what I'd have seen. You said, was an angel there? I don't know. You said, well, I don't know. I never looked up to see. But I crawled the side of that bed and reached up across that bed and got that saint by the hand and had prayer with her and prayed about 10 minutes and then put it down and crawled back out. And the Lord said, don't look up. I never looked up. And I crawled the door and reached up there and got the door and crawled outside and shut the door. And this day I couldn't tell you what was in that room. But I'm telling you, there was a presence in that room, boy. There was a presence in that room you wouldn't believe. And I mean, just like crawling under the wing of the cherubim in the middle of the mercy seat, boy. I mean, I didn't dare look. And I never will forget that. I got thinking after that thing was over, I thought to myself, you know, I said to myself, the reason why maybe we don't have more conversion these days than what we have is because people now these days, when they die, they're all drugged up and doped up and comatose. You don't know what they're going through. But back in those days, when an unsaved fellow died, you knew he went to hell. He gave a testimony. Boy, this country in 1800, 1850, and 1900, and someplace way back here in the boonies, when an unsaved fellow died, he died screaming, boy, and water, my feet are burning, my feet are burning. I'll make converts out of you, boy. The old saints would die, they'd start talking about glory and seeing Jesus Christ and shake a family up. The old families have their kids come by there and hold their hand and say, now, honey, promise me you'll meet me in heaven. And come by and promise Mama you meet me in heaven. Promise Grandma you meet me in heaven. See, you don't have much of that anymore. Now, I'm not for getting an anesthesia. I mean, if it comes to pain, I probably want to shot myself. But I've been by 100 deathbeds down in the hospitals, and they're all under dope. They can't tell you what's going on. You don't know what's going on. I mean, the guy lying there, I bet you get to heaven. I bet you find thousands of unsaved men and women that you prayed for and witnessed to that got saved at the last minute in the hospital, and you thought they'd die without Jesus Christ. And when they got in that condition, you know, the Holy Spirit came right in there and slap, boy, and they made the decision. But you wouldn't know it. There's a fellow named Tom Williams. You ought to get his testimony sometime. His wife, Pam Williams, you ever hear that thing? I mean, she was dead. I mean, she was vegetable. She was toes curled up, fingers curled up, unconscious, 2 million units of penicillin, and the spinal column fluid just like buttermilk. And I mean, they sent her home to die, and that thought nursed that woman back to health. And when she's in the hospital, he ordered that a tape of the Bible being read be hooked up to her ears, so when she was lying there in intensive care, she was getting Bible 24 hours a day. And an unsaved Jewish doctor wrote out the prescription to the nurse and said, Bible 24 hours a day. And she got out of there, and he carried around the country in a van, and her kids got her little rag doll, made of a number of colors, and they called the rag doll Rainbow, and put it to bed with her at night, you know. She couldn't speak, she couldn't eat. Food, you know, still injection and forced in there, unconscious, couldn't respond. And one night after about a month of that stuff, they kidnapped her at night before she went to bed, just lying there, you know, all knotted up. And they said, put the dollar, said, who's this, Mama? And the woman said, Rainbow. Now that woman, there's no telling what she heard. Well, you couldn't have thought she could have heard nothing. The stuff going through there. But it's a shame they don't anymore, have that much of a testimony.